Welcome, everybody, to another episode of SyncRiffs. My name is Charles Levant, CEO and president here at Blue Buddha Entertainment, a sync agency, as you all know. And we have a special guest in the studio, a Blue Buddha indie artist, indie pop singer, songwriter, originally from New York, now in Los Angeles. And you would have known her from her music on Spotify, YouTube, songs like Plenty, Summer Nights, Ketamine Kids, and Nothing. And so stoked to have Jess Meilman in the studio today, and we're going to unpack and talk all about her great songs. How's it going, Jess?
Thank you, Charles. So happy to be here, and thank you for having me on your podcast. So excited to talk about everything today.
Yes, no, absolutely. We've been working together for a minute, and a shout out to Rob Seals.
I was gonna say we gotta shout out Rob. We gotta shout him out.
Yes, that's how we were connected, and but no, kind of setting the stage and the table for our chat here. Past episodes we'll have music supervisors on, music editors, and Blue Buddha artists to really kind of get behind the scenes of your craft and your music. And I know, with your producer, would love to kind of get the storyline of your guys' process. We'll play in a minute and share some clips from some of your videos. But if you want to start with, like, say, Ketamine Kids and the story arc, and because you guys put so much attention to detail and the choreography. So, yeah.
That was the funnest thing I've ever done in my life. The most fun. So Jacob and I met right when I moved to LA at a gig, and we kind of just connected, and we were like, let's just hang out one day and see what happens. And when you just kind of meet somebody and you just have a connection, that's kind of what happened with Jacob. Like he's definitely like a brother to me. I love that kid, and he and I just create well together. It's something like you can't really explain. Like the term is like, are you married to a producer and stuff? It's kind of like speed dating, and with producers, and who do you work well with? Who do you jive with? And Jacob is my guy. I have other people that I work with too, but I've just been working just the way it's worked out. It's been a lot with Jacob. And I always say when we get into the studio, like whenever I go in to the studio with something planned, like nothing good happens.
Okay.
So I just like to go in and just see what happens that day. And it's usually Jacob practicing a riff on a guitar and me being like, oh, I like that. And we'll get sidetracked from whatever we're doing. I'm like, oh, wait, keep doing what you're doing. And I'll take my voice memo app out and just sing over what he's doing. Okay. And that's usually how a song is born.
I see.
But with other producers that I've worked with, it's different. So I think it's unique to the two people in the room.
Okay, absolutely. No, very cool. Because Ketamine Kids, it's a metaphor for, and if you want to talk about you're very as far as mental health and working through those challenges, and that song has some elements in that.
Yeah, definitely. Ketamine Kids is a huge metaphor, and people that listen to it, I'm like, I really hope you understand this is not about ketamine at all. So that song was written from a place of wanting people to face their darkest demons in order to heal, because not everyone wants to look at the stuff that hurts, because it hurts, but sometimes you have to lean into the pain in order to heal it, or it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing the more you suppress. I don't even know how to do that. As a musician, as an artist, I feel like I'm very sensitive in a good way, and I feel things deeply, and I feel called in this lifetime to look at the stuff that hurts and write about it, and hopefully to inspire other people to look at the stuff that hurts too. So to grow, essentially. But Ketamine Kids was a really cool song because I got to collaborate with my sister and her boyfriend, and my sister's boyfriend choreographed the entire
I see.
music video, and they both are USC grads now. They graduated this past weekend.
Nice.
And
Congrats.
yeah, that was so exciting. I shared my birthday weekend with my sister.
Oh,
It's like,
awesome.
if I'm gonna share it with somebody, I'm glad it's you. And my sister danced in it as well, and all of their USC friends. It was a lot to manage for me, Jacob, and Ryan is his name, the choreographer. And it was just really cool to collaborate with people that you care about and that care about you, and everybody wants the same things when it comes to these things. But it can get really complicated with the moving pieces. You got the drone guy, you have the van guy. We had someone who was driving a van. I literally just met him on the side of the road.
Oh, no way.
Hey, I like knocked on his door and he was like napping, and I woke him up. I was like, sorry. And I was like, hey, I was so sorry to wake you up from your nap, but do you mind if we use your van for my music video next weekend?
Oh my God.
And he was just like, yeah, dude, of course. And I was like, oh, sick. Like,
That's
this
so
is
cool.
awesome. Yeah. And so that was awesome. But it was also awesome to really speak on the mental health component of this entire thing. Because that's something really important in my life to pay attention to and to focus on. And it just was important for me to say something about it through music. Because I don't think I'd really done that yet. Yeah. And it was just, I was happy once I released it, because I was just like, I hope this helps somebody out there.
Yes. No, very inspiring, and every detail as far as the choreography, the look of it, the wardrobe. And that said, I think it'd be a great segue. We can share it now. And I know with so we don't get flagged with YouTube, the trick. So what I'm going to do is play like 15 seconds and then pause, and then we'll continue. But I have it queued up here to a certain part. And yeah, so I was going to ask you, are the number of yellow balloons here also match the number of dancers, or is there a through line there?
Oh, yes. Thank you for noticing. It's little details like that where me and Jacob sat down with like the story arc line. We're like, okay, so there's gonna be this many balloons, and there has to be this many dancers. Yeah, so the balloons were representing these ketamine kids, like the bad influence on the person that I was trying to reach. And as each of them pop, it's like it was a metaphor for, if you don't look at your stuff, you're screwed.
Yes. No. Amazing. No. And then may I ask, before I roll it, and then where was the location? I know somewhere along PCH, but which?
Yeah, it was in Malibu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We. I don't even know if I should say where exactly.
No, that's fine. We'll keep that a mystery.
I don't know if you're allowed to have a drone there. So.
Sure. Okay. I'm with you. We'll keep that a mystery, and then cool. We'll play some excerpts, and then I know, since it's been out, you got some good looks on it. So here we go. Without further ado, Ketamine Kids, the official music video, or some excerpts you guys should check. We'll put the link in down at the bottom, and love the hook on that. And that's just a little teaser, guys. So you guys got to check it. Well done. And then may I ask, correct? And there's a little kind of at the end of the video, that's like the big reveal. Someone touches you on your shoulder. Who is that person, right? But they got to watch to find out.
Yeah, I mean, it's open to interpretation, but I have my own thoughts about who I would want it to be.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I actually am not really a dancer, and so I was pretty intimidated walking into the rehearsals with all these insanely talented dancers from USC. And they were all really nice and supportive. We're like, "Let's go, Jess!" So every
Mhm.
time I would like do a move that was right. But I did grow up dancing as a kid. But my sister
Okay.
Jenna was always like the dancer,
I see.
and I stuck to what I was good at, music. Didn't
No, you
try to be a dancer.
well, in my humble opinion, to use the basketball analogy, you're a triple threat between singing, dance, because
Thank you.
you fool. I mean, how many hours you had to put in for those sequences? It looked polished, and you owned it. So no, that's
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's yeah, no,
My parents' secret. Like during the shoot, two of us ripped our pants. We were like dancing.
oh, that's right.
Yeah, and I had to like my sister had to go and like tape my pants together
Oh no,
to finish the
that
rest of the music video.
that's full commitment. You went all in, Jess. You're like, I'm throwing everything in. That's a
Like I have to for this music video, and
uh-huh.
it has to be amazing. So
Yeah. No, no. I mean, we had that on repeat in our household. My son's going to be 3 in June. He loves to dance, so that hook, he was hearing it. So well done. Love
I appreciate that.
Yeah. No. And then I think that's, a good segue for those folks who are listening in here in Los Angeles. You can catch Jess play live. In the past, you were doing some gigs, Hotel Cafe, and what were some? I know that was a couple months ago. And
Yeah.
wasn't there were a couple nights that you host or you were playing there? There was one like I forgot the name of it, but it was like a round table of new artists.
Oh yes, those are we're so Breaking Sound hosts up and coming artists showcases,
Mhm.
and I do those a bunch. It's really fun to just meet these other artists and connect with them. And yes, there's Hotel Cafe with Writer's Block, which is so amazing. They have artists come and sing a few songs, and you get to meet artists there and connect with the audience. And I sing gigs around LA at a restaurant during the
Mhm.
week and the weekends, and that's always fun too. So
Mhm.
I mean, singing is my my thing. So I'm
Mhm.
very very blessed to be able to do this full time.
Yeah, no, amazing, amazing. I mean, it sounds like, and then that's a good segue. We can talk about, I think 2, 3 weeks ago or so, you released a new single. If you want to talk about that song, and there's a lyric video out for it.
Yes, there's a lyric video. The song is called Nothing, and it's probably one of my favorite songs that I've ever written so far. There's a few other ones that I haven't released that I'm excited about too, but
Mhm.
I wrote that song with a girl named Jamie Meilman, and I met her through BMI and Rich Torto, who produced it. And okay, so I just tend to work with USC kids. I don't know. She's from USC. She also
Shout out. No.
graduated. Um, and she's so talented, and Rich is so talented, and the song wouldn't be what it is without these two. So very
Mhm.
grateful for them. And it's a very vulnerable song. It's you know got a broken heart, and it was funny. I met Jamie at USC for the first or second time, and I kind of just like had a rough week, and I just like emotionally dumped on the girl, and she held space for me, and she's like, "Let's write a song
No,
about it." And she
amazing.
ironically was going through a similar situation, so it was just like fate. She
Mhm.
knew exactly how I felt, and the song was born, and very happy that it's out there.
No, no, amazing. Because I think that song that we've been putting that out on the radar with music supervisors, and the storytelling in that song, the emotion, and then obviously what you did in the lyric video. And tell me about, so where was that shot? And then there's that effect with it's not an effect, it's
Yeah,
rain
it's
coming
really
down.
rain. It was the funnest thing. It was me and Jacob, of course,
Ah,
and we were looking on Peerspace for spaces that were like rain rooms.
okay.
And so some space in downtown LA that we found, and we walked in, and it was the coolest thing ever. It probably wouldn't, like, I don't want to say cooler than making Ketamine Kids because that was just so different. But we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make something um, much simpler because Ketamine Kids, there was just so much going on. This
Mm-hmm.
next visual, I wanted to be really stripped down and intimate, and I actually cried making that. Like, I really was able to challenge. I don't know why, really, why I was able to cry, because I'm not usually able to cry on the spot like that, but I was just able to cultivate all these feelings again.
Sure, sure.
Kind of traumatic at the same time, like recall these horrible feelings.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
but every time, like I'm like silly right before like Jacob presses record, and he's like, Jess, focus. He
Yes.
like helps me bring it in. He's like,
Yeah.
focus. You know, you're thinking about this.
Uh-huh.
Recall these horrible feelings.
Mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
better cry.
It's cathartic. No, and it's props to him because, like you said, with same with if you were we work with some actors who are also songwriters, musicians, and the producer. Same with what I do as a sync agent. We got to feel it, the emotion you're evoking to us.
Yeah, I mean it's a real story. The person I wrote it about, it means so much to me. So it wasn't hard to feel these emotions. Like, it wasn't hard to get them there. It's
Sure.
hard in the way that it hurts, but yeah, it it's every time I sing it, I like tear up. This one song,
Oh
yeah, it's a special one. Gotta,
no.
you
Yeah,
know,
and
it's a special love. So
amazing.
what else are you gonna do? Wow.
Yes, no, amazing tune. I know you've played that live, and I think would love to share that now. And yeah, I love what you guys did with the color palette. Um, and yeah,
Actually,
that's
writing, which is cool. The lyrics in the bottom,
uh,
um, we were able to. Jacob was just like write the lyrics on a piece of paper, and I think it'd be cool to make that the words on the bottom of the page.
I see. Okay. No, very cool. And I love like the font for your name,
Oh,
what you
thank
got. Yeah. I mean, that's got to be on a t-shirt or a sticker or something. Branding. I'm all, yeah.
you. That's a good idea.
For sure.
I
I
love
mean,
talking about that stuff, like logo.
okay.
We're always it's always in the conversation. So.
Yes. No, no. It's a very cool, but killer. I've got it synced up. We can play some excerpts, and I went midway, I think, to in the part of the video, and then we'll put this in the link so everyone can check the tune, and of course on Spotify. And let's see here. Just to tell me she's a face. You left her at the party, but I can't forget her name. You told me she was something, and she made everything me. It wasn't I was calling, but things aren't how they used to be. And now I'm running from the places that I fell for you. And you don't even have a clue. That I'm running from the reason. Oh man, yeah, that part could be synced up to a million. Not a million, but key specific storylines that play out in a lot of the shows we pitch to. So that obviously,
I mean, amazing. I hope somebody likes that.
yes, no, and we're going to be sharing obviously the behind the scenes of our conversation here, and it really, the storytelling in your songs. So correct. It was Rich. Rich was the producer on the track.
Rich Torto.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, because he did, correct, if I'm not mistaken, Summer Nights.
No, so Jacob was Summer Nights.
Okay.
It's funny, a lot of my producers, for some reason, their name starts with J. And Rich is the only one that doesn't have a J name.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so Rich and I worked together on Nothing. It was the first time we ever worked together. But with definitely work with Rich again.
Very cool. No, love. Like you said, it kind of bookends, your original songs, and that's actually a good segue. Sort of, the next 6 to 8 months remainder of this year, so to speak, as far as songwriting goes. What's in the works, as far as the story arc, anything kind of in the development stages?
Yeah, I mean, there's always like something in the mix here. Like I wake up in the middle of the night with a lyric in my head and a melody all the time, and sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'll remember it in the morning. I'm too tired, and then I forget it. But there's always point being, there's just always something that I'm writing. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just my saving grace writing. It gets me through it all. So there's stuff hopefully coming out in July.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Trying to stick to every 6-ish weeks
Mm-hmm.
when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to releasing to keep up that momentum. But there's like these rules and advice that you get, and
Mm-hmm.
I try to follow what's been working, but I feel like for something great to happen, maybe following the rules isn't what you're supposed to do. So we'll see.
Yes. No, because I think on a previous podcast, I had checked out, you were talking about the same thing with, releasing singles and then an EP. But, to your point, I know you're always writing new songs, and it's, the process, because each song has so much detail and meaning to it. And then I think, the through line is continuing to do what's, true to you. And then,
Yeah.
my role as a sync agent, we're selling the emotion. So if you give me 3 love songs and then 3 party songs about songs, great, life is great, everything's happening, then we have, different songs to turn to with different emotions. So that's the fun part of being able to work with you and Jacob and Rich, because that's something would love to continue to chat about with what's been trending in, the last several years, obviously, is cover songs.
Yeah.
So
I love
is
that.
there, yeah, like who would you, I'm just curious, throwing it out there,
Yeah.
your artists that inspire you, or if you're like, oh my God, I would love to cover an 80s or a 90s artist, is who would that be?
So I mean, I would say my biggest inspirations right now are SZA. She's always an inspiration. Who am I kidding? But specifically right now, it's been SZA, Steve
Mhm.
Lacy, and Tame Impala. Those,
Oh,
yeah, I think,
yeah. Damn.
yeah, Tame Impala. I just think he's just a genius. I just
Mhm.
can't believe some of the lyrics. Like, I wish I could turn you back into a stranger. Like, how did you come up with that? Like that. I was just talking about that lyric like 2 nights ago, actually, with a friend of mine, and
Mhm.
I was just like, every time I hear that lyric, I'm like, that is so true. Like, the amount of people I wish I could turn into a stranger. Can you
Right.
relate to that? Like,
Yeah, it's deep and it's true.
it's the perfect way to say what you're trying to say in like a incredible way.
Yeah.
It's not
No.
super like straightforward, because I feel like in lyrics when you're writing, how can I say this in a way that's not usually said?
No, exactly. Big time. And that, I mean, that's the fun part when we sync songs to a montage. And like you said, if, those metaphors are deep, and then that's why I love what you guys did in Ketamine Kids, also visually. And then there's like you have to decode. It's not just here it is, and it's black and white, but the gray areas.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying
No,
that.
for sure. And something I would say, because correct, did I hear in one of them, like crystals? You're big into crystals?
Yeah.
So
I
do
am.
you,
It depends, like sometimes I'm in the it depends like what I'm feeling that month, or
uh-huh.
what stage I'm in, but I do like crystals. I'm spiritual in that way, in the universe and manifesting. Like that's me, definitely.
Yeah.
I actually recently just got a crystal for my birthday. My
Oh,
friends
cool.
the crystals, they like call me like a crazy witch, and I'm like, that's not how it works. Like, Jess, you're gonna do a bunch of spells on us? I'm like, no, not how it works.
No, totally. No, and the reason, because I don't know if we've got I don't know, have you ever with the singing bowls?
Oh my god, I just went to a sound bath.
Yeah. Oh my God, did you love it?
I loved it. I went for my birthday. It was the
Oh, cool.
coolest thing ever.
Yes,
I
because
love that you have a sound bowl. I think that's
yeah, I've got two. I get it because I'm sure, as you know, each one is supposed, with the your chakras.
yeah, they have a certain frequency.
Yeah, and so that's because so threading a needle about crystals. I'm like, when are some crystals going to appear in your next music video?
I have no idea, honestly.
That
I,
would be, yeah.
I don't know about throwing myself under the bus like that.
No, no, because also, I mean,
Owning it, I like crystals.
no, no, I mean, leaning into that, because same with, with a certain song, or if there's a verse, or because that's the other thing is, like when shows like Charmed, or what's playing on screen, and if there's that lyric or line that's specific to what's happening, uh but that caught my ear, so I wanted to thread that needle. That's too cool. I believe in that as well, spiritual grounding, to because all the elements, fire, earth, water, and who you attract, you just know who you vibe with when you're building your team, that energy.
Definitely, definitely. It's
So
energy speaks way louder than anything else.
yes,
You
yes, and then you
into it.
no, 100%. And it's like you can't fake that. You can tell if someone's trying to fake, or you're like, you're not, that doesn't line up. So
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how what you can feel if you just sit with your thoughts or without
yeah.
them.
Meditation, big time. Because in
Yeah,
the absence, yeah, because you as a creative artist, lyrics, there's always something buzzing, something that you want to get out and create, and then those moments of reflection, I think, are equally key. And I'm sure you've went through this, Jess, where you write a song, and then if you come back to it 3 weeks later, you'll see something or hear something different,
yeah,
or a different POV. Yeah.
yeah. Rob actually taught me a lot about that. Yeah, the Songwriting School of Los Angeles has been amazing. When I first moved here, that's my first, network of people, musicians that I dove into, and that's definitely helped my writing.
Mhm.
And Rob talks a lot about that. But I don't, there's no like right way to write a song. I think
Mhm.
everybody has their own way, and you just have to follow the journey, and that'll lead you to your way of writing music.
No, that's some great advice. And actually, I'm glad you said that, because that's sort of a question I always like to ask our artists when we interview them is, one piece of advice you would have for new artists, and I think that's in addition to what you said there, is anything in particular you would advise someone and say, obviously it's the journey, being true to yourself, and patience,
Yeah,
things take time. But is there anything else, you would add to that?
my manager's always saying that. I love my manager, Linda. She's always like, "This takes time, Jess." Um,
Mhm.
but I would say that don't get lost in this game. You could play the game, but to an extent, but don't get lost in it, because the social media,
Mhm.
the numbers game I'm specifically talking about,
Mhm.
can just tear you down if you just look at the numbers and that's all you're looking at.
Mhm.
We're doing this because we're artists and it feeds our soul.
Mhm.
So always come back to why you're doing this. That's what helps me. If I for a
Yeah.
second kind of like get ungrounded for whatever reason, I'm like, wait a second, I'm doing
Mhm.
this because I love it, and
Mhm.
there's nothing else in the world I would want to be doing. So if you come back to that, think it helps you not get so lost in this huge game of the music industry that's
Mhm.
so complicated.
Yeah.
But surround yourself with people that'll create a positive experience, like you'll create a positive experience for yourself. That's what I've been finding. And I'm still new, so I have not figured this out at all. But as I'm walking on this journey, that's kind of what I've been realizing.
Mhm.
People like you, Charles, made it
Oh,
a positive experience for me. As one
thanks,
example, you want to work with people like Charles who want the best for you and have honest intentions. So yeah,
thank you. No, that means a lot, and I echo exactly what you said. That passion, and thanks for the props, Jess. There, but that the fire in the belly, because it's sort of why do we get up every day? What drives us? And once that motivation's gone, it's sort of like, well, I should be doing something else, because
yeah,
but we're music, like you said, it unites us, and without the storytellers, without the writers, without the musicians and the artists, it's so critical to what we do. And no, thank you for that. That was spot on. And you know I'm gonna pause 1 sec. Cool, I can edit this out. I'm gonna grab this real quick.
flowers.
Yeah, actually, I'll say it's a charcuterie board.
Oh, even better,
Yeah.
even better. I love
Uh,
that.
and with
Go ahead,
I'll be
grab.
right back, and then we'll
Yeah,
we'll wrap. No, 1 sec, Jess. I'll be right back.
yeah.
Thanks for your patience. All right, cool. Hang on.
No worries.
Okay, cool. Okay, and then so we're just gonna pause for a sec, and then we'll pick it back up, and I can edit it. So here we go.
Cool.
Awesome. No, thanks, Jess. I can agree more on that advice. And sort of to wrap things up, I think in the coming weeks and months, we should definitely chat more about one thing, to a seed to plant with sort of your past songs, or an opportunity going forward is, I mentioned this to Linda, which is a great nugget, is remixes. Because with Sync, I don't know if she mentioned to you about remixing one of your tunes.
Yeah, and ironically, somebody had reached out to me to remix one of my songs within the same week.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I call those synchronicities. Like it's just
Yeah.
I take that as sign from the universe that you're in the zone, whatever they call it. Do you have a certain thing that you call it? The zone,
Yeah, the zone, or like you said, the universe just providing.
the universe provides for sure.
That's okay. So is there a particular track you have in mind that you guys would remix?
I think the producer wanted to he wanted to do Plenty, which is my second single.
Uh-huh.
It was just an upbeat, fun song, so I was like, sure, this is so cool. Yeah, take it and run with it.
Oh, killer. That's going to be, because, yeah, I mean, I grew up 80s, 90s, so electronic house. And, obviously, from Beyonce's record, what she did sampling Robin S., Show Me Love. But yeah, those, in my humble opinion, and just because past pitches that or placements we've secured in the house EDM electronic vein,
Yeah,
four on the floor house stuff, and then also really over the top and energetic, whether it's Coachella friendly, Diplo, Sasha Digweed. But yeah, Plenty. Oh man, I think
yeah.
that's gonna be
I never had anyone ask me to remix a song before. It's the first time, so I was excited.
killer. So that's happening. Yeah, and then just to thread the needle, Ketamine Kids, obviously, that has that element of being able to dance to it, the hook, the chorus.
Yeah.
And I love what you did just to button it up. I know it was for socials and you were interviewing people on 3rd Street Promenade. You want to?
Yeah. So I have this thing where people can't understand my lyrics because it's just the way I sing. I don't know. It's been since I was a kid. Like my voice coaches would be like, "Jess, I can't understand you," and I'm like, "I don't know." So I thought it'd be funny because really nobody can understand the lyrics for Ketamine Kids, um, for whatever reason. And I'm like, "How do you not?" Okay. So I was like, "Let's go and ask these random people if they can understand my lyrics." I think it'd be like a funny thing to put on social media. And I was actually pretty I had to like my friends had to give me a pep talk before I did that because the amount of times I was rejected. I was
Oh,
like, "Hey, do you want to listen to my song?" And they were like, and I was like, "Okay,
that's
cool, fine." So
oh,
of course I was only a few times, but it hurt for a
sure.
sec.
Yeah, I know. Like,
This is good for me, you know.
yeah.
Let's just practice getting rejected. You know, in the music industry, you get said, no is a common word. So
Hmm.
um, it was a good exercise.
Yeah, no, and because I think correct, it's so the lyric is you'll be like, so I hear you're doing K, but people say it's like something the wind came or something.
So what hey you doing, Kay? And people thought like I was saying wind, and it was a crazy windy day. I was like, is this affecting why people are saying because I say wind? But I didn't want to say the word ketamine in the song,
Yeah.
but I said it in the chorus. So I was like, I wrote the song in actually like 10 minutes. It was like
Oh wow.
I was putting it off because it was another vulnerable scenario that I was writing about,
Hmm.
and I was upset about a few things, and I was like, what am I doing? You don't like I wasn't like I don't usually put things off,
Sure.
but that's how you know this specific scenario is upsetting me. And I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit down and I'm gonna write it. And it was like midnight, and
Hmm.
it just the divine just spoke through me, and that's the best way I could put it. It was like, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were no reworks really for that one.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it was just I wrote it, and maybe there were like a few lyrics. Jacob and I sat down, and we're like, I don't know, maybe, but for the most part, it was just intuitive, which is
Hmm.
that was a special experience.
No, amazing. Because then also to kind of thread that needle, Jess, and I think I had to reach out to you because there was on a previous podcast we were talking about samples and sample packs, and I know I think it's you. You say we're going to be okay, and I'm like, is that your voice? It sounded too cool, and you're like, that's my voice, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I've got a feeling we might make it.
that's right.
That was the lyric. We were like, me and Jacob were reworking. Like, how can we say this? What's
Mm,
dramatic?
yeah.
What's like? What did I want to say in that
Hmm.
moment that I didn't get to say?
Yeah. No, I can. So we'll talk more about that on the remix tip because I could definitely hear that. And Summer, just to thread that, we work with some DJs, one who's in Greece, but like, various DJs on radio or in the clubs. But in 3-4 months from now, Ibiza happens and all the festivals and Ketamine Kids with the up tempo 110, 120, right? So yeah, but no, very cool. We covered a lot of ground here, and I think what would be cool is in the future months, maybe to plant that seed when you have the remix, have
Yeah,
you back on. We'll preview,
yeah,
preview.
that's
Yeah, no, it was such time flies by, and that's what we love and what we set up here with SyncRiffs, where it's like thread the needle about syncs and get work with our independent artists and shine the spotlight on you and your craft and what you're working on
thank you.
and sort of hey, one to pay attention to Jess Meilman, and her career is just beginning. And thank you so much, Jess, for joining us today. And I know lots of big things happening continuing throughout the year, so I'm really stoked we were able to connect. You went you were traveling, and so great to reconnect, and thanks for hanging out with us today, Jess.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so great. It's always great talking to you, and I'm so honored to talk about my music. It's so fun.
Oh, right on. No,
Thank
well,
you.
no, thanks, Jess. And then we'll catch everybody on the other side. Thank you for tuning in. Hang tight, Jess. Don't hit stop once we wrap. And thank you, everybody. We'll catch you on the next episode of SyncRiffs. And with that, namaste, and catch you on the side. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Go.